Yo, what is going on? What is up, everybody? Let me make some adjustments here. How's everybody doing on this lovely Sunday evening? What is up, everybody? First time here. What is up? Freon, would love to just hire everybody. Would love it. HVAC J, we got some Instagram people in the chat here. What is up? Love the show. Sitting here at work. Thankfully, we didn't have any calls this weekend. Trying to limit that as best as we can. What is up, Miltech Air? Rudy, I see you. Victor. Oh yeah, there was a kids playoff game, kids sports basically on last Thursday. So we'll get back to it this week. We have a lot to cover, a lot to talk about, plenty to catch up on. So tune in on Thursday. Oh, what is going on? Um, so we got a lot of Instagram people over here too. Please hire me too. Yeah, so we're looking to hire some people. I appreciate all the comments coming in. Got great ideas. Thanks from you. Steve, what is up, man? I hope to see a lot of you guys over at AHR. I know it's a long ways away, but it's always good to see people in the chats, social media, all that kind of stuff, and kind of see you guys in person. I wasn't sure if I was going to go, but I'm pretty set on going now to Chicago for the AHR Expo. So hopefully I get to see a lot of you guys out there. Ameribest Heating and Cooling, shout out. I learn a lot. Thank you. Thank you. I feel like sometimes I don't do enough, and I'm trying always to make the videos better, informative. It's really just what I do out in the field. So it's always going to be realistic stuff. Like, I'm not sitting in an office all day talking about HVAC. I'm out in the field and all about it, you know? So appreciate you guys. Uh, that's not till usually it's the first week of February or last week of January. So it's in Chicago. It's going to be cold. Not looking forward to that part of it, but I've been going every year for like 5 of them maybe now, and I wasn't sure if I was going to go again, but I'm going to go definitely to Chicago, and then it's hard to pass up the one in Orlando. There's a lot of guys out there as well, so it's always it's a cool hangout. I mean, the first like 1 or 2 times that I went out there, I went with my brother at the time who also works with us, just amazed at everything that you see, all the new tools. They have like these little chillers in there, a lot of AC units, a lot of commercial, industrial stuff they try to build out there. Some companies go crazy and they have like a cyber truck that's wrapped in there. They had some other cool stuff. I didn't participate in a lot of it this last time because you can actually do stuff. There's competitions. There's a lot of neat ways to kind of see new stuff, but also unwind a little bit. So on this next one, I do want to make it a point to not be running around, but to actually hang out for more of it and talk to people because that's always the best part of it. Yeah, Orlando and Vegas are the good ones. I'm there for the free stuff. Yeah. Well, that's good, man. Top Gun, a lot of good content from Top Gun as well. Got to really twist my arm for Chicago. I know. Learned a lot from your videos. Can't say thank you enough. I appreciate all those comments. I don't need it. I don't need the pat on the back, but it's always helpful for feedback if it's helpful, right, to you. Um, I'm never looking for like viral videos, virality, any of that stuff. I'm looking for stuff that you can go back to or maybe watch in passing and it helps you in some way. Love the guys. You guys are too nice. Love the content. Trades need more voices like yours. I appreciate it. We got Mr. Disciple in the house. What is up? I do want to, because I do have this shout out thing that I have to do, but it's for my YouTube members. So appreciate all the members. I had an influx of them sign up recently over on YouTube. Chris, Fitbit, Asif. I'm not even sure how to say that. Fendi Main, Tayus, Rome, Patriotic American, Luis, Mark, HVAC Jedi, Jimmy Wang, Quengas Kong, Harris, MA, Brian, True Results, HCX, B1062, D Tolls, and Gary Carnell. Appreciate all my channel members. It's just helpful, again, when I do merch, stickers, stuff like that to handle the shipping and all that kind of stuff. But they also get like access or early access to videos. So right now there's a Hvac Pro video that's up. It's not ready to be posted, but if you're a channel member, you get to see that before it goes live. So there's stuff like that. I have some other videos that I'm waiting for approval on. Then I get to put them up on the members first, and then it goes up on the channel publicly. So just wanted to shout them out because I've had a lot of good members recently. The CD, the free one, right? Yeah, the free one. That one, it I don't know if you noticed from the video I did, it's a little bit bigger than I anticipated, but it's a great bag. I'm using the SPLD for now because it's a little bit smaller. But that CD, is that what it's called? The CD LB or L, something like that. Super nice bag. I just wish they were like, that one would have been a great backpack. Exactly. Thanks for keeping it real. Let's see. HVAC Ways, one of the OGs when I started on Instagram. I post stories, sometimes asking for help, and you always give me good advice. I appreciate it. Dude, it's cool seeing the stuff that you work on too. I try to interject when I can on stories. Like, there's been a few guys that are going from like residential to commercial. I think you've always done refrigeration, but I think now you're doing like bigger stuff. But I always see the guys that are transitioning to like commercial, and I always try to tell them, hey, you know, it's a little bit different. It's all the same, but it's a little bit different. And if they need to know, because even I learned something, which I'll get into right now, but the way to adjust some of the belts on RTUs and how to take it apart and this and that, like any extra work or work that you can cut out by doing it a different way. I try to interject that in that sense, which it actually happened to me recently, which Mario is always in my comments, or he used to be more so, but he always lets me know that I'm doing something wrong, but it's not a bad thing. I have no idea if he's being sarcastic or not, but with any comments that I get, I try to like learn from it, and just if it's good advice, I'll take it. On a train RTU that I was working on, the video that I just posted, actually, I had done 2 back-to-back ECM motors. I've never seen them before. I am used to belt driven blower motors, and that was basically like my third ECM motor that I've ever changed. I believe, yeah, third ECM. On a Daikin, everything's open. You take off the panel, you pull out the whole assembly, you take it out, you change it. It's very much like a house split system where you take out the blower with the wheel and the housing and you can change it out. Identical. And I think I did another one that was like that. It might have been it was a Lennox brand. I think it was Commercial Allied. So those I'm used or not used to, but those are the ones that I had seen. And then I got Train RTUs back to back. And I was like, how do you get to the set screw? So I went around the back and I opened up the side that was opposite of the blower. So I could undo the screw and then take it out. I had a comment that was like, hey, that's actually easy to do. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, that little ring, inner ring on the housing comes off. I didn't know that. So I went back and looked at my video and I'm like, oh, if I would have taken off that, there's like 3 screws. If you take off that ring and then you take off the bracket for the motor, it looks like the whole blower wheel comes out from the front, which makes so much more sense. So I'm always learning too. And then once he said that, I was like, damn, okay, I see what you're talking about. And I'll just know that for next time. I just happened to do 2 of them back to back and I don't like to give up. So I just kind of disassembled the other side of the RTU to get to it. And I still got it done, but there was a much easier way to do it. Don't give up. You got the music. What is up? Super technical. I haven't talked to you in a while, man. How's everything? Let's see. Get that money. Charlie in the house. What's up, man? What is up? Alex here, 7-month apprentice. And that's awesome, man. Somebody had asked me earlier how the weekend went. So last week was at Train RTU. So shout out to Mario for helping me out in the comments because I did it the hard way twice. And now I know for next time. But other than that, I did make a post because Freon was saying he'll move to Texas. We are hiring. We actually just had we were hiring for an apprentice, maybe 2. And now I'm also looking for a service tech because one of our service techs who just got here decided to take a job up north because he needed the money, which is understandable. There's no hard feelings. He said he would come back if anything, if he ever moved back, I guess, then he would work here again, or he would like for us to offer him a chance again. So he had only been here a few months. Again, nothing against the kid. He did great. He was running his own calls. He was doing hot side. So we are gonna need to fill that position. But I've been trying to harp to these kids that come in, the ones that are applying, the ones that reach out to me that are looking for a job. And I've been trying to tell them you gotta put in a little bit of time to make the money that you want to make. So in the first few months, they got a raise. Now, to meet the kind of money that he was looking for, I mean, if he had stayed a few more months, he probably would have gotten it. But some people I don't know anybody's situation. So he must have needed it right now. He went up north. The only issue there is I live in a very low cost of living area. And if you go even like 3-4 hours up, the prices are very different. So I'm not sure what he's making up there, but hopefully it's enough to cover that change in cost of living. But our other guys are happy. They were ecstatic with the raises and all that kind of stuff. And I'm hoping to build out because we're getting a ton of work right now. I'm hoping to build out a good crew, and if they can just stick it out, I mean, they get all. We're open to giving what everybody's worth. I always tell people because they ask us because I know some companies there's like ceilings, and I'm sure there is one for us. I just don't know what it is yet. But I always tell people because they ask if there's room for improvement. I'm like, there always is. We'll start you at what we kind of start either an apprentice off at or somebody with a few years. We kind of have a range, and there's always room to grow. We pay for performance and how you do and what you show, and that's all fine. So down here, man, it's 20 and under as far as what our guys make and stuff like that. So I was talking to some of the guys that were looking to come over, and they're 6 to 8 years in, and they're getting like 23. So it's not a big area for crazy wages. Like if you go to California and you make 35 or over, that's probably like the equivalent of making like 20 to 25 here. Yeah, the comments, love hate relationship. I get it. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to bash anybody, but he did a different kind of work, like maintenance and other stuff. And we work in kitchens. We work on rooftops. So yeah, there was something said. I guess he had a better conditions, I guess, is also what he was looking for. So there's something I guess that he went into up north that I have to assume it's not the same kind of work to make any difference because here, and I've told guys that we're looking at that we're talking to, like you got to learn how to do. Even if you went to school for HVAC, you're gonna have to learn how to do the hot side, and I think it's for your best interest because you can learn more. And I'm okay with having guys. Maybe they find something else, or if we get to keep them, I'll try to pay them what they're worth. But I want them to learn everything when they get here, and I have some guys that really want that, or that's what they're looking for. Like they're gonna learn refrigeration, small and big, because we do walk-ins, we do reach-ins, we do ice cream machines, ice machines. You can learn all that stuff here, and then we have two. It's my dad and the senior tech that are hot side, and actually our other service tech that we hired last year already knows quite a bit of the hot side. So we do let him run his own calls on uh, ovens and other stuff. So that's what we're trying to do is build them up to do anything. And I think that just benefits them because if they do leave, their resume looks better on that. Yeah, it is. And I don't know, not everybody's uh, cut out for it. I forget how different it is or how tough it could be because I'm used to it. That's all I've ever known. I started working in school districts. The first customers I had were like IHOP and Denny's, and I feel like those are the some of the worst ones. And we had a lot of local restaurants, like smaller mom and pop shops that were filthy. So like that's what I started out as, and I got used to it. And it's not like me and my dad, because we're the owners. It's not like we're sitting in an office all day. My dad still runs calls. He's still on the floor. The other day, last week, I was on rooftops all week. Like we still work. So, it's not like we're asking them to do anything that we're not doing ourselves. We just have a ton of work right now. So I'm trying to build out, make sure we have enough guys. Let's see. Happy Sunday, 30-year apprentice here. I feel the same way. I'm going on 20. Let's see. Told my parents that I'm going to surf, fishing in a bright yellow banana hammock. Anyone else have trouble with low voltage shorts? I struggle with that, but reading up on electrical. That was my worst. Like electrical, like in general, was my weakest point. So yeah, you got to read up on it. You got to, go through, read schematic. Like for me, like just in general, low voltage, you kind of have to know like where the low voltage goes and kind of be able to just trace it and track it. And then from experience, like sometimes you're popping fuses and it could be a rub out, but it could also be like a shorted out contactor. And I don't think you'll know what that is unless you've seen it online or unless you've actually seen one in person, and you're not going to know right away. It's going to take you a while to figure it out, right? So we learn a lot through trial and error and mistakes, and just a simple call turns into an all day call. There's that instance too, but yeah, I had to be better about reading schematics, tracing wires, all that kind of stuff, knowing how voltage works and how to check for voltage in certain spots, and uh, learning resistance and continuity and the differences and all that kind of stuff. So that comes with it, or comes with time. Yeah, 26 years, always learning something new, never see it all. Let's see. uh, any opinion on work or jobs? Well, I guess because we've seen it recently, right? Any opinion on work, um, firing, basically for getting fired at your job for making videos at work. Now, I personally don't have a big issue with it. Obviously, I don't want to be hypocritical. If our guys ever did it, I would just tell them, you can't show the customer, you can't talk bad about a customer on video or direct it to someone, like call anybody out. Uh, Try not to be negative, and whatever you post is up for criticism on the internet, right? And if I see something wrong, then I'm going to get after them. But I get it. There's some companies that just don't want any, for some reason, they don't want any either liability or any, they just want to be like under the radar, I guess. Like they don't want any attention to them. There's things like that. Or, and I get it again, like they see it as like you're on their time. They take things very seriously, clocking in and clocking out type of deal, like your 8 hours, whatever it is. So I get it. We're not super strict on that. We try to hold our guys accountable for the hours and everything like that. But like, if we send somebody home, they're still getting paid for that day. We don't go crazy with, you know, I don't know. We're not super strict. We try to hold them accountable. We try to make sure that there's things in place, things that they follow. Now, would I be mad if they started posting anything on social media? Not myself, not me, but I get it, and I've heard it so many times. And there is even friends of ours that it's happened to, the couple, and I think she said that it was because of because they were private equity owned, and she was making videos on how to start a business, and I guess that was frowned upon. So that I don't understand, and that goes into an employee trying to get a license, a contractor's license, trying to get a signature, like to sign off on it, looking into it. Like you can't make them stay. You can't make them not pursue their dreams or whatever they have as far as goals. So I don't get that part of it, because it happens with content creators, like in that situation in particular, or just in general. I've had guys that get fired for wanting to start a business or even thinking about it, and I think that's crazy. Like if I had somebody that was like gonna do that, cool. I'll sign off. You can go do your thing as long as you don't bite the hand that feeds you. You don't go and like talk shit about us and try to take our customers and start all this other stuff. I have no issue with it if you don't do any of that stuff. Uh, my guys learn a lot from you. I encourage my guys to learn from every tech, and you're the one I always refer to them. I like the validation. I appreciate it. Eh, and like I said earlier, I mean, you guys don't have to say anything, but I mean, it means a lot to know that, because sometimes you get like I've heard other people talk about it before, like imposter syndrome. Like this, I'm surprised that I'm even doing a podcast streaming right now. Like I never saw myself doing that and posting YouTube videos. It's just it's also been helpful for me to be better in general, be better talking, right? Talking in front of a camera, talking in front of a customer. It's kind of the same thing. And now I'm gonna have to start training a whole bunch of guys. So now I've had some experience talking through or talking out loud on calls through my videos, and now I'm gonna do it with some guys. And I've done it before. Like I've trained my brother and a few other guys, but now I need to probably hire like some really green guys that are like out of trade school. I have a couple that are out of trade school that are interested. So that'll be a new task, a new thing for me. So we'll see how it goes. You guys got to stop. What's up, blue collar heck in the house? What's up, man? My company would love for me to get my master's. They're all different. Some the ones here. It's because I mentioned it so many times that they're so competitive, and I kind of like the newer guys that are starting businesses, that I can kind of talk with them. And I'm in this transition of taking over and doing more with this company, and we can just help each other out. Like it doesn't have to be competitive. Um, we have an electrician that we use. He got into plumbing and AC work. I'm pretty sure he got his license already. He calls me for help. I mean, as long as he's not taking my customers, like what do I care, right? So he's called me for help. I've helped him over the phone diagnose some simple stuff on my end that I think is, stuff that I see all the time. And I'm like, yeah, just check this and that. He's like so thankful. And that's a good, um, like networking deal. Like he gives us work, I give him work. I have another buddy that does residential, and I give him work all the time. He's thrown me a couple of restaurants, like, but those are the guys that are like my age and younger. I feel like customers just want it cold, I want it cheap, and it's more complex than that. I don't know if I missed. I was looking for some other comments. What was I gonna say? So I've always said because I know I talked to somebody. I probably mentioned it in one of my videos recently. Like, it's usually cheaper. We're not the cheapest, so we have to go through that deal too. Where I had comments where they're like, I like they start analyzing the units that I'm working on, right? The curb adapters, the whips, all this other stuff, and I'm like, guys, you have to understand, I don't install these things. I hardly do installations because I am not the cheapest. It's not that I don't want to do it. It's not that I don't bid or offer. It's just because we're not the cheapest. So what always ends up happening, and I'm in commercial, so it's the same thing whether it's residential or whatever. They will go with the cheapest bid, or if they know somebody that's cheaper, they're gonna call them. They're never gonna call them for service or anything else because we've had a lot of companies that mess up and I have to go in there and fix it. So they already know that part of it. But I guess it's still cheaper to get somebody to install it extremely cheap. And I already know that some of those companies are probably purposely going cheap, maybe even cheaper than they would normally go because a lot of our accounts are bigger accounts with the faith that they would take that customer from us, which it never happens. But I'm sure they get a good deal. They get it because with us, it's like RTUs. They get them installed super cheap, but they reuse all the conduit. They reuse all the whips, disconnects. The curb adapters are never correct. They're installed improperly, but it's cheaper to do that and then have us come out and just fix whatever they need to, right? Like, it's not installed right. It's not cooling properly. It's not wired right. I've seen that so many times. But hey, they installed it. Can you just come out and fix whatever they messed up? And I guess it's cheaper that way, right? So I don't know. I don't know what to. Yeah, it's, and I would love to completely rewire it, shield all the wiring, all the thermostat wire, put it neatly, put it nicely, do it the way I would want to do it. But I'm going to charge, what I think that's worth. I just never get to do it because they'll end up getting someone cheaper. And for me, it's like, well, it wasn't done right, but they don't care. The only installs that I do more of are walk-in boxes. And those, if you go to one of mine, yeah, I got the bends in there. I got the line set ran. I got everything the way I would want to do it. And that's how I'm teaching my guys to do it because they've recently installed like 2 boxes themselves. And those I get to do more of. But the RTUs, we always lose those bids and, the customer doesn't care too much. It's more about the price. Just jumped on a dual tech for the same pay. Office tried that. That was a no. Depends. So anyone that we've had has been new to this trade. So they learned everything here and they're going to get incremental raises. I guess it's a little bit different once you are like that high level tech that can do anything. But I don't know. It's like you go to a job, it's 8 to 5, you get paid an hourly wage and you're paid on what you can do, right? So yeah, if you can do both, then you're going to be a little more valuable. But at least in our experience right now, like these guys were new and they're learning. I can't pay them like I would somebody that's been doing it 5 to 10 years that can be held accountable. These guys are still going through tech support, still going through us for help and learning, right? So like the guy that went up north and left us, he'd only been here 6 to 8 months, and before this he did maintenance and a counter job. So there's a little more to the story that you need, right, to be able to calculate the pay and all that kind of stuff. Going out for grills overnight didn't benefit me. Worked less hours, wasn't paid any different. Yeah. We try to be fair. We do overtime pay. We do on-call rotation. I still run calls on the weekends. Like, try to be fair, but we're a small family business. I'm still trying to figure out the structure of that kind of stuff. And we don't, I don't know. I think we expect the same out of everybody. Like, just get to what you can, run into any problems, you call us. We still, as the owners, go out there to help. And we run a lot of our own calls too. Hot side is pretty easy if you know electrical. Everything has a downside. Yeah. Lead by example. We travel all states. It takes a toll on the guys, but you try to make it worth their time away from home. We don't do a lot of traveling. We're thinking about it because we've had offers, but yes, they would need to be compensated. I mean, we try to talk with them about it whenever we've had a couple. We've had a few, but not a lot. But we're gonna start servicing 3+ hours away now, and I still turn down a lot of work because I don't think it's fair to, send our guys out to that kind of stuff. So yeah, you got to make it worth it for the guy going out there, and I got to make it worth it for the company as a whole, that the customer is going to pay for that inconvenience. Some techs in my network looking for work. Could you please share a bit more about incentives, performance based? We're a small family business, so we don't do commissions. We don't do anything crazy. That all is going to get built out or any like benefits is going to get built out as we're growing. And this is like the year that we're doing it. So that's all still new to me. We're getting things in place. The only thing I can offer right now is decent pay, competitive pay, no experience required, and we'll train you and supply you with, at least on the major tools, we can help you out there because we supply, and not the shitty kind, like the good vacuum pumps, the good recoveries, the good manifolds, all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I don't want to do supermarkets either, man. That's a whole other beast. Let's see. We got us, y'all. Remco, Pro Ops, Colseas, yeah. Don't bring up Richmond. Do you have systems and process already in place? You're asking me. We're building everything. Like as far as to be able to, like you're talking about like a crew and everything, and we do it like we're a small business. We don't we do we were doing a lot of it paper wise, like keeping track of different things and hours and everything. So like that's all stuff that we're building out. Uh, how how do y'all find customers? Is it word of mouth because y'all grown so much? Uh, in the beginning, yeah, yes, a lot of it is word of mouth. Like in the beginning, I think my dad gave us a what do you call it? a head start because he knew people. So he had a hospital customer lined up, so that gave us a lot of work. I don't remember how he got the IHOPs and Denny's, but we go. It's word of mouth, but we were out there handing out business cards and flyers and everything. And it's funny because if you're personable and you just talk, because I saw it, with my dad, he could just talk to somebody and click instantly. And they're like, yeah, go ahead and, take a look at something here and there and, give us your rates and all that kind of stuff. And I think it helps when you can show them some of the work, right? So have photos and all that kind of stuff, which is easier now because you put that all on social media or your website. So in the beginning, it was like networking. So, like I said, my dad already had a few lined up. And then it was us outgoing like to restaurants just to kind of talk to the manager or the owner and kind of give out a flyer and try to strike up a conversation where we can kind of keep talking and get a foot in the kitchen, maybe to look around. I remember doing that. Um, but yeah, for a lot of a majority of it was word of mouth because even when our senior tech who started with us and then went to work for a lot of places because we just couldn't keep up with paying employees. We made that mistake once. So like our senior tech right now actually came back once we built it back up and had things in place a little bit to kind of help us. He came back and he also got a pretty good reputation as a technician. So then people were looking for him. He brought in a couple more accounts for us. And that's how we work. A lot of it was word of mouth. I will say in the last like year or two, it's been more of the online stuff. So I don't want to like it's not all from one source, but like I've talked about it a few times. I've mentioned like the Chick-fil-A, the Sprouts. There was some work we got at the mall. Like those were not anything that we went after. They all found our website by doing like a search. So right now we're not looking for work because we're busy, but we're still getting work. I posted on Instagram that I had a customer that paid for a diagnostic, but he chose not to do the repair. So he just paid the fee for us to go out there. And then he's like, you know what? We're just going to buy a new oven and this and that. So he found us online and he called our AI receptionist, I think. And we went out there. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, if you need anything else, let us know. I kind of try to keep the conversation going a little bit. Didn't hear from him. And like a week later, he's like, hey, we bought the oven and we want you guys to install it. So like that has become another customer now. And that is here in the downtown area where we haven't done work in a long time. So we're kind of scattering ourselves out there. A lot of it is van wraps too. It doesn't have to be a big wrap, but your name and number and everything. We get inquiries quite a bit now. So I think for me personally right now, I think it's a lot of the wraps and the online stuff because we're not actively like looking for work or getting. We did get one referral the other day for another fried chicken spot. So we'll see if they do call us or not. But word of mouth is very good. And just like I said, having your name and number on the van or truck, handing out some flyers or business cards, always have them with you. And don't be afraid to tell anybody and everybody that you have your own business and that, you guys are looking for work or can help anybody out. What is up, Derek? What's going on, Nasty? Yes, new hires follow along and it can help you from being overwhelmed with always having to answer questions. Yeah. What is up? HVAC Tech Tapes. We got a nominee in the house. Oh, there he is. Oh, spiky beard vibe. I need a haircut and oh, I didn't put it up. I need a haircut and a shave. So yeah, it's been crazy because I've been running around doing calls. I've been running around with these new customers that we're trying to get onboarded. Moving from the van to the truck. A lot of stuff getting approved. Our one service tech leaving, and then I was already trying to hire people, so now like we're still dealing with that. So it's a lot going on right now. Yeah, that's my point right now. Like we used to look for it, which you have to put yourself out there. You have to talk to as many people as you can. You network. There's different ways to do it. We have another um, some guys that I learned from because they used to work with us, and before I got my license and everything, and they would help us as like a subcontractor type of deal. And one of those guys started a business, and what I've seen him do is a lot of word of mouth, but he does a lot of like community stuff, or stuff with the courthouse, and he does a lot of those extra things to get his name out, right? So that's something that you need to figure out how you want to do it, but you put your name out there. But yes, now we are blessed, and it's just going really well for us to where we're at a point where we can just put ourselves, like I said, online or with the raps, and just whatever happens happens. Like it comes to us, and we're busy enough to not worry about it. And I've been there. We've been open 19 years about, and we did really well when we opened, and then we did really bad where we couldn't even pay our guys. I wasn't even getting checks, or I had to wait weeks. And then we got to a better spot, and it was just me and my dad trying to build that back up. And that's when we're like looking and talking, and just taking anything we can get. And it pays off at the end. It takes time. Whether you're a technician, you want that raise, you want this and that, or you're a business owner and you want to have several vehicles, you want to have employees, you want to have everything that you see all these other companies with. It takes time. So we're fortunate to stumble a few times, figure it out, and now we're here. And I'm very happy. And I'm just trying to make sure that, the customers we have right now are happy. The employees we have right now are happy. Everybody's working well. We're helping each other out, and then just continue to grow it. We'll see if my camera doesn't cut out. Sparking across America. What is up? Yeah, it's a different headache. I really love, or it's way easier for me to turn a wrench or do HVAC than it is for me to let somebody else do the work, or try or attempt or teach or train. Um, but yeah, that's kind of the role that we're doing now. Yeah, like I don't know. Some people might not see the whole picture, and I'm not, and that's with anybody. Like I'm just saying myself, I'm not gonna be out there like, hey, I didn't get paid for a while or this and that. Like you don't know that, you don't know everybody's situation. Like you see a lot of businesses, you don't know how they got there. And there's some businesses that you never see again. So we've seen that a lot here. A lot of them don't make it. So, like I said, very blessed and thankful. My dad has a big part of that, because, or is a huge part of that, because he's the one that wanted to do this, wanted to have his own business. And I saw how hard he worked for it. So that makes me want to work hard. And yeah, I grew up with that generation of my dad and my mom and seeing what they did to have the life that we did, which wasn't like, we weren't wealthy or anything, but we never felt like we were poor or any of that stuff. So obviously you want a better life for your kids. So they did that for us. I'm trying to do that for my kids. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to quit. So I got into this. I got into HVAC. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I would not be able to do a desk job. I would not be able to work for somebody. That's just me. And you got to make it. You got to figure it out and make it work. So we thankfully got our footing back, figured it out. We're doing better with this round of employees, not worrying about like money at all. It's very different even from like 5 years ago. So you live and you learn. We didn't know everything. We were two guys. It was my dad and me. Like none of us knew anything about business, about the accounting, the money stuff. Like we didn't know any of that stuff. But we figured it out. What is up, Bloop? Had one man on, wanted to shout him out when I was brand new. He took time out of his day and busy schedule to coach me, and I could never repay him. One man is awesome, which a lot of people are really good about online. If you guys reach out to anybody, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram, typically they offer to help. So the community is great. But one man, Rolando, good dude. I always enjoy seeing him in the chat, whether it's here or HVAC nights, and he works hard. And just talking to him on that show, when I had him on the podcast, I talked to him a little bit like after the show, and or even before the show, just trying to schedule it. And he had the kid on the way, and there was that one video where he's like trying to discipline his kid, and he's just out there trying to live that blue collar life and balance a family and then running a business, and it's crazy. Braise at home practice. Let's see. Tips on braising. Be mindful, because I just did it too. Again, I hate when I do it. Be mindful of where you wave the damn flame, because I tend to leave some signature marks on some wire sometimes. And make sure, I mean, once you get used to it, you'll figure out when you're low, or like your ratio and all that, because sometimes you can tell when you don't have enough oxygen. Adding more oxygen will always make it hotter. So just, get comfortable with that. Don't be afraid. I hate when I see people with like the starving small flames. It's supposed to be a bigger flame. So kind of like play around with it. Don't be afraid of a bigger flame, because once you put it on the pipe, it wraps around. That's what it's supposed to do. You're supposed to heat the pipe going in, the male end, heat it up a little bit, then move to the female, the outside coupling. And then I always like to go opposite with my brazing rod. So we'll heat it up for a little while and then hit it on the opposite side, or like 12 and 3 o'clock kind of. And, once it starts flowing, then keep moving that flame up and down the actual joint and then back and forth on the line set. That way it wraps all the way around, you get more coverage and everything, and you pull that solder in. Because I really hate when people go with the brazing rod and the flame together at the same time, and they try to like cover it when you're supposed to get that capillary action. So heat up the joint. Like I said, go a little bit opposite of it. And then once it starts to melt, just throw some on there, get the rod out, move your flame around, make sure it covers and it pulls in. Can you make a video on the Vito cargo cargo tote? So the one that I use to pull up my parts, uh, I have, yeah, I can do one. I don't think I ever did one, but I need to get them to replace it. I broke it because I threw in like a nitrogen tank and like other stuff with it. I was just being real stubborn that day, and some of the rivets popped. But but yeah, I can make a video on the cargo. They have different ones. They have cargo. They have different sizes. So maybe I'll try and do a video on the different sizes. And I have the wrencher, which I don't even know if they sell anymore. I use that for smaller stuff. And it's just for me to pull up like motors and contactors and like bigger jobs or jobs that, you can't rope up, or it's hard to get up on a roof like some of this stuff. So it's easy to just throw it in a bag and take it up. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, Andrew. It's just a different way to do it, right? So that is perfect. I had a comment because I do the AI receptionist, which I'm not gonna keep long term, or I might use it for like weekend calls, but I only use it for new customers. So I had a comment when I was talking about using an AI receptionist, and it just stuck with me. Somebody was like, "Bro, if you're too busy to answer the phone, then you're too busy to take on any new work or any new customers." I'm like, "Yeah, but that's not the point, right? The point is you want that phone ringing all the time." So nothing is more scary as when you don't have any calls, the phone is not ringing, your guy's schedule's open, like they don't have anything for the day. You got to send people home early. Like we don't have any of that right now because even though we're not looking for work, we're still putting ourselves out there, right? So the wrap, like I said, helps a lot, but I'm still with the website. I'm still working on my Google business profile. I'm still trying to get searches coming in, and eventually I might do something or play around with ads when I have more time. But yeah, that's exactly my point. Like Andrew says here, the company I work for has been around 22 years, and the one thing I've learned is never stopped advertising, because even if you're busy, there will come a time where there's no work. So that's what I was trying to tell that person in the comments. Like, I still want the phone to ring. I still want people to know who we are, that like see us around. And, I would much rather tell a customer like, "Hey, we can't get to you," or "Can you wait and schedule you in?" And, this and that. I'd rather have that conversation than no conversation. Right. So that's what I've learned too. Like we keep putting ourselves out there. I still want to have this problem of not being able to get to everybody, instead of just not having anything for the week. So we've been there. We've had those slow days and there's no work. And like I said, we had no work for the guys. We had to have that uncomfortable conversation of like, "Hey guys, like this is not working out. We can't pay you. You gotta start looking for something else." Like we've had that conversation. The CTXL cargo tote, or the CTLC. Yeah, that's the one that I'll pick it up. Um, I have the XL cargo, which was fine, but it was always a pain to put in the van, like to find a spot for it. But I had more space. Now that I have a truck, it's in there, but I stuffed it all the way in the back of the truck bed, so it's covered by a lot of stuff right now. And I'm just thinking like, do I really need the XL? So maybe I'll transition to the LC or something, just to save some space, but it can still do most of the same stuff, right? The XL cargo tote, I could take up two condenser fan motors or two ACM motors like in the same bag, and then still throw in like capacitors or whatever. So that one is, I think, bigger than what I need, honestly. And I have the wrencher that I was going to use for something else, but that one's too small. So I think that LC might come in handy if you're just taking up like one motor or like smaller motors, or if you take them out of the box too, you can take them up. It won't take up much space. It's the box that takes up a lot of space. So yeah, I'll look into it too because I should probably get that CTLC for the truck now. Oh, for the to clean out the pipes. We use the RX11 if it's a obviously if it's a change out to a like R22 to 410. I don't use it all the time. I use a lot of nitrogen. Like, oh yeah, if it depends on the oil. Yeah, because for me, I do more just nitrogen and it works. But some people use like it's Helmore and someone else that does those. Oh my god, whatever those little things are, the foam inserts that you shoot through the line set. I've never used them, but those are kind of cool. If I did residential, I'd probably do it. I would probably get one. That's what I just had that conversation with somebody because somebody asked me how it is or they would want tips on changing from a van to a truck. And I'm like, it's not easy. But the one thing that made it easier for me is I started buying and even paying extra to have like a lighter, smaller version, right? So like uh my torches are a good example of that. I don't use a full set. I use the Ambro control set. So it fits perfectly in a small crate. There's plenty of other things that I carry smaller versions of because I don't want a full size. I don't even have, because what I used to carry an install bag that had every tool that you could ever want, snips and all these nut drivers and dedicated screwdrivers and everything. And I found myself not using it that much. I liked or enjoyed using it for installs, but I was like, do I really need it? So like once I moved to the truck, I took that out and I got a bag, a smaller bag that I just kind of did a makeshift of where it had a lot of multi tools, but then it also had like some stuff that I would need in case I do an install or something. So I just, and that's what I've been telling people because everybody hates that I went to a truck on social media. I get comments all the time that it's stupid. And I'm like, I've been quietly downsizing over the past couple of years because I just felt like I was carrying too much stuff in my bags, in my van. Once I moved over to the truck, there was a ton of stuff that just stayed behind. I was like, I never used that stuff. So, the more space you have, whether it's a van or like even a tool bag, that's why I don't like to buy a big tool bag. The more space you have, the more times you will, fill it out or have an excuse to carry more stuff when you don't really need it. So that's been kind of how I've transitioned to, doing a truck and stuff like that. Yeah, there you go. The pigs, the line set cleaners. I forgot what they're called. Okay, how do you store your refrigerant tanks? Because you live in my area. I am so scared to leave my tanks out in the sun because that baffles me a little bit. I have a truck bed cover and I was taking temperature during our hottest days recently. It only got to like 108 in the truck bed. Inside the truck, it got to 130. So I was like, definitely not in here. So I'm a little concerned for the people that have trucks and leave their tanks in direct sunlight. I've never had one rupture. I've heard stories. I don't know if you keep yours out there or you keep yours inside. Okay. I was like, I'm very scared because I see those racks right where they have the ladders on the trucks, and there's that rack system that has like three or four tanks. I was like, I'm definitely not doing that. They got to be covered somehow. I know everybody's always scared of the foam. the pig thing. I am too, but I've seen it work. So you don't tuck it in and put the seatbelt on it. Never thought about that. Oh, okay, on the side. Oh yeah, you have that. That's what I would have liked, but I was trying to keep mine simple, so I didn't want to get the full loadout with everything on there. But if I need to, I mean, maybe I'll get that. Ooh, SPMC or blackout. So I helped with the MB3 blackout. We are currently discussing variations of that. Actually, of both of those, there's variations that are being drawn up. The MB3 blackout is great if you just carry a few things like a meter, a couple of screwdrivers, a couple of pliers, and maybe a probe set and like a wrench or something, right? So if you carry the minimalistic, it's great because there's no pockets inside, right? There's no screwdriver slots or anything like that. So that's the only thing with that. Like I made it work for a long time. I had the MB3s, I had the MB2 even, and I would just put everything in there. But it was a very minimal load or set of tools because I was still using my backpack for a lot of bigger jobs and stuff. But I wanted the MB3 blackout, but I don't like the can't option this. Oh, it only comes as a backpack. I guess they give you the strap and you have to buy anything else separate. I thought it was an option. I didn't know that. Yeah. So I ran an MB3 for a long time and I loved it. But but I like the sling strap because that's how I carried mine like forever. The SPMC is one of my favorite ones, but I upgraded to the SPLD, which is like the next size. Or no, the SPMC and the SPLD are very different in size. So I went to the SPLD and I really enjoy it. So that's what I'm using right now. Just because I work in kitchens and stuff like that, I can set it down, pull the flap down, and start working. Which I find myself like this year a lot working in kitchen. So I do a lot more refrigeration than I do like AC RTUs. You have to buy it for 180 and then buy the backpack straps separately. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, I think I want to say because I didn't really like the backpack strap, so I never personally. It's not for me like the like that one as a backpack. The MB5B that was the mini backpack. Personally, they were uncomfortable for me, so that's why I never even like used them. But I think it comes with the sling, and that's the one that I like because that's the one that I helped make for that. And they apparently it's doing well. I've seen a lot of MB3 blackouts out there. They're looking to like expand that lineup. What is up, one man? We were talking about you earlier. Yeah, I usually use the RX11. I'm going to try the pigs. Let's see. Appreciate the stream. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Okay, so anybody, I don't know if you're still in here. Yeah, that is kind of cool because I really don't like Well, I like the drill holster, so I do use that because Bloop was saying he runs the SPMC with no side pouches. I think I see Morgan's maintenance do that a lot because he's always now he's doing like all the videos. Um, I don't like the little one that it comes with. The one that's the little pocket one. So I'm trying to figure out what to replace that with. I did do the MP MX Evo one that I had, but I think it was too big and I didn't like having the meter outside. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with the other side. But I have the, like I said, I have the SPLD, which is the bigger version. But I like the drill holster. I don't like the other one that comes with it. Somebody asked me where I got this cup from, and it's from my merch store. I just don't have it for sale because I just bought it for myself. Okay, hold on. Let me get to all the comments. Where was I? Wheeling the bags into the kitchen. So our senior tech and my dad love the tech pack. One of them has the tech pack wheeler. The other one has a tech MC wheeler. They love it. And they do hot side pretty much. Um, I do. I don't like having a wheeler. I don't want to carry that on the roof. So I like I said, I have a smaller bag, but for the kitchens, I use my folding cart, which a lot of guys were asking me about it. That's from Walmart. Best 50 bucks I've ever spent. It's a foldable cart. So I do have it in the truck. It folds up and it goes in the bed. So, when I work in kitchens, it's a cart for me because man, I did a compressor change out. Yeah, going for the nitrogen, the scale, the vacuum pump. Forget all that. Just take it all on the cart. Oh yeah, you can. Bloop was saying he was taught to heat the pipe, lay the solder, and move it around. I I only do that. I do that quite a bit, but I do it more so when it's in an awkward spot or it's a bigger pipe. Like if it's bigger than like half inch, like you're doing 3/4, 7/8, something like that. Because what I was talking about earlier when you want to wrap it around from the opposite side is like 1/4 inch, 3/8, half inch, that kind of size. Once you get into the bigger ones, you can heat up the pipe and then lay a bead on top and then just work it around. Like that works too. And I do that more so, like I said, for bigger pipe sizes, or I'm in an awkward spot where I'm not able to fit two hands in there, and you just kind of lace them on there and then like work it around and get it to wrap and pull in. The flame will move the solder. I try to teach my guys that a lot, and they're always amazed the first time they see it. I'm like, yes, just keep moving it. You can manipulate the solder to go where you want it to. Somebody had asked about Intelligen. After working on a few different ones, brands, personally, yes, I do like Intelligen. They have their problems, but they're not horrible. Lately, they've been great. So for me, Intelligen has been good. They're easy to install. They're easy to start up. They're easy to work on. It just sucks when with anything nowadays, if the board gives out and it takes you a while to get it, that's the only problem. What torch tip size do you use on commercial? I only have the number 2 and I think it's a little small. I want to say that's what I ran. But I also got into no, yeah, I had a number 2, but I only work on because I know you work on similar, but sometimes you see bigger stuff than I do. Uh, So with the oxyacetylene, I had a number two on there the whole time. But I did buy a rosebud and a little C one. The little C the it wasn't a Captain Hook, it was the other one that had flames on it had like it was a twin flame. So that's what I got to help me out with some of the piping that I see. But I don't know, I just a number two and then crank it. Just let it all like let the flame come out. Okay, sorry, I got sidetracked. Someone had asked about the recording. Yeah, I know. Well, you guys do more install. Um, Shout out for the you guys. You guys started your own business. We're I kind of mentioned because somebody asked about people getting fired for content. Pro 31 is y'all's business. Igor and Rachel Martin's over there starting their own thing now. You guys do a lot of install. I don't. I hardly do any, so that's why I kind of took that out of my truck. I'm trying to find your your question. I know I didn't answer it. Yes, Insta 360s or Meta Ray-Ban. So for me personally, I'm just using. I have a Pocket 3, which is when I can use it because that gives me the best, um, the highest quality footage that I can get. Because I personally don't like action cameras. So I use a Pocket 3 for when I can. And if I can't use that, if I don't feel like taking it, then I'll use my phone. But for like half of my clips now, I'm using the Meta Ray-Bans because I can just hit the button and like, especially like brazing and stuff like that. Like I can just hit the button and start working and start wiring it up and moving on to the next thing and all that. They are capped out, I believe, at 3 minutes. But like for the content I do, that's fine. I don't like to record an hour, an hour's worth of footage. So I cut up a lot of my footage anyway. So it's not a big deal. You kind of can keep track of when it's on or off. Um, but if I had to pick like a camera going, if I had to buy a camera right now, I would personally look at the Insta 360s. So if you want an action camera, you want something small because I do miss having it because you can kind of set it down anywhere. I was using the man, what was it called? The Go Ultra is a good one. If you want like something small and like you don't want to carry a big camera around. They also have some. They also have the Ace lineup. Those are always great too. And I love Insta 360 because they have that flip over display. That helped a lot when I switched from DJI to that one. I love that the little screen that flips up. And now they have I don't know if it's out yet, but they have a Pocket competitor. They have the Luna, I believe it's called. So if I had to go buy one right now, I'd probably buy the Luna because I like that kind of quality you get. Or if I was buying an action camera, I would go with an Ace or a Go Ultra, one of those. Because again, the flip screen, and then you can take out the little one and put it on you. I saw some guys complaining that they can't use them. A lot of these cameras, but they work in like attics or like in these hot conditions. Any camera, because even my iPhone will overheat. That's another reason why I don't like to record long clips. I'll do pieces of it or like the important parts because anything's gonna overheat. Like that's always gonna be an issue. I have not seen a camera that just does not overheat. You know. There you go. And I think they look great. The Insta 360 has come a long way because I started on one of the early generations and it looked at the time it looked cool, but it was pretty bad. But all of them right now are really good quality. What is up, Mario? I was just telling him about the mishap with the damn train ECM. Appreciate the tip because looking back at the footage, I was like, damn it, that was an easier way to do that. Let's see. Figure out how to diagnose. From Intelligen, I kind of can tell when one of the relays is out by going through some of the testing, but like it's just from experience. If it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, and I kind of know the sequence and everything, because I even told one of my guys recently just to change out the board. Like, don't even play around with it. I will say that Heatcraft made me replace one of the EEVs, and I got pissed off because it wasn't the EEV. So I think they told one of our guys that, and I was like, don't even touch the EEV, replace the board, and then we'll see from there. And sure enough, it was a board. uh, yes. So the thing is, the only thing with the metas is you gotta, because I saw you asking about the going to your phone. The metas, you got to download them, and what I don't like is that you can't preview them. So like, let's say you take 10 to 20 clips and maybe half of them were by mistake, you still got to download them to your phone and then delete them or go through them. Um but yeah, I do love the point of view. I just wish it was a wider one because it's meant for vertical. So I always have to crop in for YouTube. And like whatever, because these are the second gens. I think they look really good. Whenever they come out with the next ones, which I don't know if it's a year from now or whatever, those are probably going to be awesome. But yeah, like you kind of just have to assume that you're looking at the camera. The only issue I've had is when I cover it by accident, which is like from a hat or right now my hair. That's the only issue that I've had with the metas because I forget that the camera's on the side. But other than that, I do like them. What I have to do is when I'm going to record, I have to, because I wear my hat forward for work to keep the sun out of my face, to keep the sweat, all that out of my eyes. But when I have to remember when I'm going to hit record to flip my hat backwards. So it's just little things like that. Um, Insta360, what I like about the new ones is that it is an SD card. So I am now a big SD card person. Like if these could take SD cards, that'd be great. Because I edit everything on a desktop, a desktop now. So for me, I would prefer SD cards. So dealing with the phone or the iPad, you got to move because I got to download them to my phone, and then I got to airdrop them to my computer. That's how I do it. We'll see because it's Google, it's Apple. If somebody else makes a better pair, I would love to try it. The magnet. I never looked for it. Where do you get the Carol magnet? I saw Appion made one, but it's not cheap. So Appion makes, I think it's on TrueTech. But I mean, I'll buy one just to, because it's different sizes. I don't think I'll ever see the other sizes, but it's $150 and you get three different, and right now they're back. I think everybody bought them. They're back ordered. You get the 17, the 23, and the 35 magnet solenoid magnet kit, and it's for the EEVs. So those are what do you call it? It depends on the polarity, and it's in steps, right? So if you throw a regular magnet on there, it's not going to do anything. But if you have these, you're basically turning them to bring it up or bring it down, basically open or close it, and you're adjusting the steps to it. So I wish I had these the initial time that I had issues with Intelligent, because it was basically not sending the signal and it wasn't opening. There was no other issue with it. It wasn't clogged or anything else. It just wasn't, and only in cooling mode. It wasn't doing it in test mode. Um, it was left open at one point, and then it was shut because we restarted it. It started shut and it wouldn't open. So whole headache. I wish I had the EEV magnets. Anyone try and use a 9 volt to make it function? Carol, EEV. I heard about it. I just never looked into it. Let's see. But you have to get these from a supply house or something, no? Because like when I see them, it's like AliExpress. Let's see. Oh, Carol Parts. Oh, it's the same. Well, for me, it's showing the same price, 150 bucks. Which do you prefer? Which would be better for recording a repair real quick, uploading it to my dispatch app for my company notes throughout the day? I personally, I think you get more with the glasses, because people always ask me about them. I take a lot of phone calls with them. I use them as sunglasses. I get more use out of this versus carrying a camera. So I like the Metas better because you can use them for more things. The only so if you were to record, you would just have to open the app and hit download and download them, and then you do whatever you need to with them. Uh, well, you got to do that with either one. If you get a 360 camera, it's the same thing. You got to download them. So for me, it's the glasses because they're just on you. You don't have to mount it to yourself to a cap or anything like that, and you just record it, especially just for documenting. I do take a lot of pictures with them of the guys or of an install or whatever it is, and I'll use that later for like the website and stuff and stuff. So like, it's just you already have them on. You just take a picture or take a video. Oh, let's see. A lot of that's the only issue that I got. Top Gun is when it's the board or like a relay on the board. The only other issue I've had on Intelligent is the ECM motors. Every now and then we have to replace them. I've gotten a lot of calls where they just come unplugged. So that's one thing I don't like, is that they don't at least zip tie to the frame or something, because it's a plug on top that always falls off. I've had more issues with like the Russell brand, like sensors going out. Uh, I think it's more so sensors, and I've had some weird issues with the Russell ones. Intelligent, at least like it works when you install it, and then like the worst case scenario is the board. Which field piece S bands would you recommend? For something lighter is the 3-port. Um, it just depends on what you use them for, because I do kitchen refrigeration. Sometimes I like to use my manifold to pull a vacuum. So I typically will get the 4 port because on a reach in, it's not going to take long, and you already got the you can have the micron gauge built in. A lot of times, the reason I use them is because I can't hook up, or I don't have the space to hook up a valve core tool. All these hoses that I have, like the bigger hoses, it doesn't work. So I got to pull through a manifold. Now I'm not gonna be naive and say that nobody or that everybody knows how to pull, like, or that invests in bigger hoses and has a proper setup and everything like that. There's plenty of guys that do pull through a manifold, and that's just the way they do it. So depends on what you do. If you just want something that's a manifold that you want to maybe charge a system with, and it can connect to wireless clamps, it can connect to a scale. That's my favorite thing about the S-Men, because I'll use them for startups or adding charge or anything like that. Then the 3 port's fine. But if you ever think you got to pull through it, again, in my situation, a reaching cooler or something like that, or something super small, a mini split or whatever, I got to have the 4 port. The newer brown sealed EVAP motors are a whole lot better. Good to know. I don't think we put one in a while. But, oh, okay. Yeah, the other ones were the Interlink or whatever it's called motors. And those we've replaced a handful. So good to know that they switched, because and that's what I do like about Heatcraft. I've talked to them. I've talked to technical support. Um, and I've seen it because I've seen changes in their equipment. That's the good part. Like, they're not just sticking to what's broken, they're actually fixing it. The SC 680 is godsend. What's the best bag for that meter? I don't know if there is. So if you buy any of the Evo bags from Vito, and you get a meter pouch, the largest one, I think it's a large, MP large, it's supposed to fit in there. I haven't done it. They showed it to us at HR. So worst case scenario, get yourself a little pouch for it. Um, Typically for me, I always had that meter in a backpack, or if I had it in a smaller bag, like the ones that I'm using right now, the SPLD or any of those, I would have to put it outside. So yeah, you got to pick and choose. I've never tested the range on it. Usually I only use it if I'm checking like amperage and stuff when I got to close a panel, but I'm right outside of it. I've never tried it because I didn't use it for temperature or anything like that. So I've never tried it on, um, or like I never tried it for anything else. Intelligent Econet ESP KE2, all good stuff once you learn the ins and outs. Yeah, whenever you first see something, you hate it, or you say everything you don't like about it. Why did they do it this way or that way or anything like that? So, yeah, I get it. Once you learn it, and same thing with Intelligent. I didn't think I liked them, and I was very against a lot of the callbacks or uh, failed parts that we had. But I had good experiences with it, installing it. I had good experience with tech support, surprisingly. So once I got used to them, yes, I can work on any of them, and I'm good with it. Uh, KE2, that one of our customers wants us to rip them out, but because they're remote controlled and they've tried to fix them, I think they even sent somebody out there, and every now and then they get a call back because the defrost starts acting up real crazy. So they wanted me to rip it out, and I'm gonna put a different kind of controller in there. Oh, don't get me started on the Navax, man. I don't even think I can give them to my guys, if I'm being honest. Now, my dad has the single one, the single screen, which is the new one that came out. I forgot the name of it, the Flex One or something. That one I haven't tested too much, but yes, I hate personally that it's rechargeable. I get it, your batteries die, you don't have any, but I feel like in today's day and age, you should have a bin of batteries because your meter takes batteries, your probes, your manifold, like everything takes batteries, right? So I would much rather, have a box of batteries and just change them out. So I don't like that it's rechargeable. Somebody told me the Testo, because I've never had the manifold, is both rechargeable but also with a backup batteries like double A or something. That's cool. Like if you want to go that route. So I have the ones that we got at the award show, which was the original one, the two screen from Navac, and I didn't really use them, and then I gave them to one of our guys. He just recently turned them in because they weren't working. They were giving them uh it was giving them 0 psi, and this technician does a lot of work already. I've never had an issue with him not knowing how to hook up gauges. So I don't think it was user error, because he sent us pictures and he was having no pressure. So I was like, okay, well, turn them in, because he said the screen was going black too. I was like, turn them in. I got some other ones that you can use, and we'll exchange them. And I'll see if Navac will exchange them for me. I don't know. But I got a comment on the recent video I did on the Navac, the small one, and they were having the same issue. They said that they would hook up and it wouldn't read pressure. So I don't know if that's a thing or not. And right now I have them, but they work. I need to actually use them to see if it's really fluctuating like that. But I saw it firsthand because I'm trying to get him a proper vacuum setup, but he was pulling a vacuum through a manifold for like a small repair. It was a small reach-in, and he was using the Navac. It doesn't have a micron gauge or anything like that, so it just read negative 30 inches of mercury, right? I went through the settings, and I have it on film because I was trying to record and show like some of my comments that there is no theme. There was no daylight mode, right? So I'm just going through the settings. I back out. It said negative 30, and all of a sudden it said 0. And this thing was in a vacuum. So I saw it firsthand acting up. So unfortunately, if I start to doubt a tool like that, I don't trust it. So I told him to turn it in, and now he has the Hillmore gauges. Those are pretty simple. They're digital too. Those have clamp support, so he won't have to, he can just use the clamps and everything. So yeah, let's see. Oddly, not much. I've seen a couple. I see a lot of Heatcraft and Russell. Yeah, batteries, truck stock. Yeah. I can respect Hillmore, but Navek and Malco are something else. We'll get into it on Thursday. Malco is rebranding of Black Max. They're not the same company, but they have the same tools. And Black Max has been around for a long time. CPS products, and I do like their stuff. But Malco is just coming out with basically the same stuff. Navac, and I have a video on the probes. They're really nice. If they would make a few adjustments, they would be perfect, but they're not. So uh, those are, I'm gonna put those away. I'm gonna go back to my JB probes because those work the way I want them to work. And I had issues with the Navac probes. I run Testos 557s and the probes. I've had to send them in for repairs, and their warranty department or repair department are super rude to work with and not cheap. Yeah, I've heard that, not from Testo, but I've heard that from others. So I mean that goes a long way too. If you have issues with them, they should be able to take care of you. Field piece is not cheap, but I've done warranty through them, and it's usually pretty easy personally, but this was years ago. Infocon is one of the easy ones because I've had issues with like the sensors, but again, this was years ago. They'll just take one off the shelf and kind of have you swap it out, and those are really good. I mean, and then like hand tools, you can do that with Klein and Milwaukee tools as well. So yeah, when you have issues and you can get good customer service, that goes a long way. I've never done it with Testo. Um, and I'm gonna talk to Navac I'm gonna talk to Navac about the gauges, but I'm gonna be very afraid to use them if I'm being honest. It's great that you equip your team with tools. Yeah. So like I mentioned, one of our guys took a job up north, so he turned in his van. I saw that there was a Vito missing, and I was like, you know what? He can take that as a parting gift. It's whatever. I work with Vito, obviously, so it's not a huge deal. But he did turn everything else in because he had Navac pumps, field piece gauges. He had Milwaukee drills. Like that's all stuff that we supplied, and he turned everything else back in. I was just like, I didn't give you that Vito to keep, but I guess you can keep it. Sent me a True Tech Tools link. Hmm. Oh, was that you that commented? Uh, Small gauges. Trying to find a video to fix the no pressure problem. Just reach out to Navac. I would get them replaced. I wouldn't even mess with it. Yeah, one of the guys that had been here for a few months, but he wanted a temporary job, and then he decided to stay permanently. So I thought we were fine, but then he took a job up north. So he wanted a little bit more money, and I was trying to tell him like give it a few more months. Probably would have gotten you there. Moving up north is very different because we are in a low cost of living area, but I don't know what he got offered up there. Maybe it covers the living expenses or something like that. But around here, we don't. You don't make a ton. You can once you've been here for a while, but everything is really cheap here. It was the MB5B. It's not a cheap one. Oh, dude, yeah, like um, refrigeration got to be good because I can imagine the cooks would be hooking it up, food, and you got everything cooling. That is a trap, though. I gained so much weight at one point, and every now and then I put it on because they feed you every day, and I work for a sandwich shop too, and those are it's like a mom and daughter thing. They're older though, and the mom She brings sweet bread all the time. She brings like she brought tamales last time. And then they'll always offer when I'm leaving, hey, we'll make you a sandwich, we'll make you whatever you want. Are you sure you don't want anything else or you want more, like more meats and stuff? I'm like, you know, it's a trap sometimes though, because, you know, it's very difficult in what we do not to eat out, even more so when you do the kind of work that I do and everybody's offering you food. Yeah. It is nice though. If you work in there was one that I worked at that was, macaroni grill. I don't know if that's everywhere. It's like an Olive Garden type of restaurant. Those guys used to make off the menu stuff for the people in the back. Like there was a really nice restaurant. So like there was all these fancy pizzas that they had and pastas, and I would be offered that cuz I would come in the morning, you know, work for a couple hours and then they would start making this stuff. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take it." And yeah, you get hooked up for sure. Yeah, it's like, you know, just let it, you know, let it go. I don't know the like maybe yes, he did, thought we weren't going to say anything, but also maybe he thought I gifted it to him, but technically I do supply my employees with Veto now. So we've been trying to get everybody to switch over to Veto, so I'll offer to give them a substantial bag that can work for what they do. But you know, he turned everything else in. He was fine, he was respectful. I'm not gonna fight over it. Well, right now it's a little different. It's grown a lot. This area. It's not what it used to be. But yeah, if you go up north, it's very different. You don't get cheap meals. You don't get cheap gas. It's very different. Um, yeah, sensors always go bad. We used to do work for them for a good while, and I enjoyed eating there. See, Freon, that's and I know you understand it, but like we're building that out. He caught me off guard. Like we were in the process of trying to get different things in place, structure, inventory. Like this just came out of nowhere. So I'm trying to keep inventory. I'm trying to keep. We're doing we're doing GPS. We're doing all this other stuff. We were so small that it was just like I said, me and my dad, my brother, a senior tech, and then we started taking on like we took on two other guys, three other guys, and yeah, at that point I'm like I got a little nervous, and I was like we have to start doing, you know, what everybody else does, right, to keep track of everything. Uh, I don't know, I never liked doing all that extra stuff, but it was only when it was us. But now, yes, we are gonna put all that stuff in place. Structure, that's the part that I don't like, but it is what it is. And if you want to be a bigger company, I don't want to be a huge company. I just want to be like, we were up to like 7 vehicles right now, 6. So I want to get up to 10. That's kind of the goal. Well, right now it's like 320, 325, I believe. I haven't pumped in a while. But normally before it jumped, it was like I would say average is like 250 for our gas. Oh, I understand, man. Like we're learning as we go, and we just weren't prepared for the influx or the volume of calls that we've gotten. And yeah, we're on top of it now. Oh man, let me see. Higher tech tapes. He's he's traveling a lot now for the company he works at. What gauges to start off with? I honestly, unless you're looking for a certain brand, you're looking for a certain look, yellow jacket. Just just get yellow jacket, get the basic ones. Um they do make like 4 ports if you really want to go that route, but if you're just starting out, just spend a couple $100 and get some basic ones. I'll be in Texas next week. I just fixed a wildlife preservation AC for free. Just a bad cap, no charge. Now he gets to feed the raccoons. Well worth it. Oh, somebody. Honestly, again, for digital manifolds, it's hard to beat the S mans. They're pricey, so if you want to get something cheap that is still good, get the Hillmore gauges, the Hillmore digital gauges. And then if you want to spend, I don't know if it's 600 or 700 bucks now. It's probably seven. Because the Hillmore ones are 300 bucks, three something, 320, 350. The S Mens I think are like 700 ish, but they can connect to like if you have the scale, if you have the clamps, they do other stuff. So depends on how much you want to spend. But those are the two recommendations. Like if you have a lot of field piece, get the field piece. If you just want something that works, get the Hillmore. You wish you started with analogs. Yeah, buy once, cry once, basically. Yeah, yeah, it does. The Hillmore one has wired clamps. So it just the only thing the Hillmore one doesn't have is wireless. So it doesn't do wireless clamps. It doesn't do like a scale that you can hook up to it. It doesn't do any of those extra things or have an app. It's a digital manifold. It comes with the clamps. So it does superheat and subcool. So that's why I would recommend it. And I used it for a while. Now one of our guys is going to use it. Uh, but the S-Mans are nice. The S-Mans I would use, like I said, to start up a system or add charge. I would have the scale and I wouldn't need the remote. I wouldn't need my phone. It would just be there on the S-Man. So that's why I liked it. I never used the wireless clamps with it, but the scale was always clutch. Um, Built-in micron gauge if you want to go that route too. Uh, they get an hour lunch during their 8 to 5. Yes, basic. Yeah, they clock out. Yeah, like you're talking about the hours at the end of the week. Yeah, I forget to take a lunch too sometimes. I mean I don't clock in or out. Right, I'm on a fixed income, but um, the other day I ran out. I felt like I was taking a long time. I took like 20 to 30 minutes to take a lunch, and I went back to work. So that's just the way I do it. I am so Jake has I think the CPS too. I've been wanting to try it out. I'm probably gonna pick one up soon. I had the field piece. I had the Hillmore. So far, the JB one has been the better one of that bunch. But I really want to try the CPS one. And I think they have a Black Max version that is coming out or that just came out. Flex says, my boy bought the Navac basic gauges and it looked nice, but it didn't have the temp clamps. I asked him, you have analogs. Why the hell would you buy why would you buy those? Went back and returned them. Bu- bullied him into returning his Navacs. I don't get it, honestly. I don't want to be like, I don't want to be a hater. I don't want to talk down on anything. If you like them, you like them. But I don't see the point. I would much rather use an analog set. I have a backup analog set if it's not going to do anything else. And yes, if Matt was in here, mechanical environments, he preaches accuracy. I just meant that I'm on salary, not fixed income. Um, he would preach accuracy, but again, I don't know. You got to recharge them. They cost quite a bit. To me, it's always about cost. You can do the job with analogs. You can do the same job with those Navac ones. You can do the same job with probes. It's like, what do you want to spend? And can you like make sense of what you're spending? I couldn't, in good faith, recommend something that costs the little one, the single one. I forgot how much the other one costs. Like the one that you might be talking about. The little single one is 250, 260 bucks. Like if you really want digital, the Hillmore's 300 bucks and you can do the clamps. So just never made sense. If they were like 100 bucks, 150 bucks, then okay, get them. They look nice, all that. So it just has to make sense. That is true. Testo's the only one I haven't tried. I would love to. I gave one away. They didn't give me one, but I gave one away. The guy said it was the best. I've never tried it. Yeah, owners, operators. Sometimes I'd rather work through lunch and just get out at 4, 3, and then eat. I Mike says I take however long of a lunch I want. I just don't. Yeah, a lot of people say it's easy to do. I think it's easy to get into and understand. It's not easy work. Yeah, you're under fryers. A lot of that stuff is live. Steamers are no joke either. Like, yeah, there's a lot that can go wrong or that makes it difficult. The grease, all that kind of stuff. Oh, okay. Testos aren't as good as field piece, to be honest. I run them every day. Oh, I've heard the range part. I bought their second gen probes and I did like them. I did not like the button on them because I kept accidentally turning them on. So I had no issue with the probes really other than that. I don't remember the range on them like in actual field use. But when I started buying more other stuff, like I bought like a temp probe of some sort and I wanted to use it to check temperatures like on walk-in boxes, um, reach-ins, which I do now with my psychrometers. I couldn't leave a few feet without them disconnecting. So like once I saw that, I kind of returned them and started using field piece. Field piece, I just don't understand why it's so damn big. I don't like it either. Well, it's not that I don't like it. Like it works. It's great in the times that I've used it. I just prefer other ones because it gives you a better reading. I don't know. I never liked the way the field piece one worked. Range is 300 feet. Grease is a no-go. Fieldpiece needs to update their micron gauge. And yeah, maybe their probes. Oh, Yellow Jacket's another good one. I got the Yellow Jacket micron gauge, the wired one. I use their analog stuff all the time, and some of their other older tools like their flaring block and all that. Never use any of their digital stuff. Zero out probes multiple times. I like Fieldpiece better than Testo. Fieldpiece are my daily and my Testos are my backups. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, the old one. That's the one that I originally wanted. And then they came out with a new one, and I was like, oh, might as well get the new one. I don't know. Something about it, and I still don't understand why it's so. It's it's like twice or three times the size of a lot of micron gauges right now. Best micron gauge. So a lot of people really like the CPS product one. That's why I'm leaning towards getting one. In my experience right now, in the bunch that I've had, which is Fieldpiece, Hillmore, True. What's that other one called? Truvac or Blue Vac. I don't like that one. I heard a lot of people don't like that one either. So out of that bunch, JB has been the most reliable one, and their app is pretty decent. I like that it shows you, at least on the app, if you're over range, it still gives you like atmospheric a reading. That way you know where exactly you're at, like 10,000, whatever. So that's what's worked for me. But I'm very tempted to try the CPS or the Black Max. I think that's a new one because I've heard good things about CPS product micron gauges. CBLD. It's just for me. It was bigger than I thought it was gonna be. If I'm being honest, I think it's great. I think it's a great layout because I was able to fit a lot of stuff in there and have extra room. And I put my drill, my meter, everything inside. But it was just uncomfortable. And I know somebody was like, watching your video, I was wondering if it was uncomfortable, and you made it seem very, very uncomfortable. I was like, yeah, it's just kind of big when you put it on your shoulder. But I had Blue Vac has oil issues. I had the mini one. It always died, even if I turned it off before I put it away. So it would drain batteries even if off. That other than that, I liked it. It's just like it's a dumb issue that I had, and other people had the same issue, so it wasn't just mine. Maybe a bad batch, I don't know. Man, the MB2B is delayed until December. Ooh, really? I need to look into that. I broke mine like twice. The blue vac, is it the True Blue hose or something like that? Yeah, mine popped off and completely broke. And I would be okay because I bought the Navac. I just bought the Navac ones. I don't think I've used them yet. Or maybe I used them once. But no, I don't think I've used them yet. I don't mind buying, I don't need the interchangeable. I never changed the size on it. I would always put it on the biggest size and then leave it. So if they did that now, that's nice. I'll have to look into it. Let's see. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've rode along with a lot of guys, like a lot of senior techs, a lot of older people that when I started out, I knew they weren't doing the right stuff. It works. Yes. It might not last as long, but like honestly, some of this equipment doesn't last regardless of those procedures, right? I do think it makes a difference on some systems, but yes, I've seen no vacuum, charge it up, and it works. I've seen different things and it works, right? No purging, it works. Like I've seen all that stuff. Like I know it works. I just don't want to be I don't want to have that happen to me where I get a call back or like it breaks down and or you have weird issues or intermittent issues and stuff like that. You can buy it at reliablehvacr.net. Rhodes. I got merch. Check it out. My boss, hope he's not in the chat. My boss doesn't believe in micron gauges or purging with nitrogen. See, I had a guy, the one that started a business here that was going to work with us. When we were talking, he was like, I like to do things the right way. I learn as much as I can online. Um, I purge, I vacuum, I wait for it to pull down. I do all like it was just we're just talking, right? And he's like, they hate me for it at my company. My boss, all the guys, because it takes longer. So yeah, I believe it. It happens. I kind of touched on this earlier. Hot take: it isn't the end of the world to pull a vacuum with Schrader's in. It just takes longer. Can't say I've never done that. I've done vacuums on, like I said, through manifolds with the Schrader sometimes, just because I know it's either I have the time to deal with it because I'm cleaning up or doing something, or I just can't get core tools on there. So hot take, but I mean, if you've been doing it, there's been instances I'm sure where you don't do something perfect and you got to do what you got to do. Dude, I told them that at I think they will. I told them that at Pipeline because I have been talking about the recovery machine forever and I haven't used it yet, but I'm excited to use it. They have a conduit, a like a hard conduit bender for electricians, right? I told them I was like, dude, like that looks a lot like you can make that a copper bender if you wanted to, and then you can make tube expanders, right? Because they have some stuff out there for it, and they're in the press game, right? So I would love to see a battery powered bender and a battery powered expander from Milwaukee Tools. I think they would want to do it. I kept reminding them when I was at Pipeline, and I think they would. Oh, recovering is a whole other story. That's even harder to find people that do that. I can't in good conscience be that guy. I take all my stuff up to a roof as long as it takes, and just knowing that I did it the right way. Huge task. Yeah, I've thought about it. I would need to get some samples. I would need to try it out, try to figure it out. Yes, I'm looking to because I just have like plain tees, so I'm looking into. I really want to do like the heavyweight shirts or there's workout shirts, other kind of shirts. So Haven't had time, but I'm looking into it. Another hot take. Go Klein, not Milwaukee. DeWalt has one. Oh, they do, right? You got to be really good because I did try it again with the battery one. You do have to be really good about reaming it properly and it shouldn't split. But sometimes I'm in a hurry. I don't do it properly and it'll split on me. But like I braze over it. But I think I did see that one. I think I saw it at AHR or something and it did. I don't even think it left much of a mark where you would think it would split. So that I will give them. It gives me a hard time. Yeah, man. They just want you to get the call done, and sometimes it's about volume and not quality, unfortunately. I try to preach to my guys like cuz my dad is like, don't take all day on a job or don't take all day on a maintenance. That's where he gets upset. But like I always tell them, take your time. Please recover, please vacuum, please do all the proper procedures. We don't want callbacks. We don't want any other issues. So I encourage them to take their time. And if they get stuck, I'll go out and help them out. What do you think about these R54B units? Haven't worked on one yet. Same. I've only installed R32. We have one, I believe that is 454B, but another company installed it. So we haven't serviced it yet. I'm not looking forward to it. I would much rather. I'm on the R32 train, and I don't. Maybe we'll talk about it next time or on Thursday. But I got stopped in the supply house because they were talking about the 410A delay or whatever on the phase out, and some of the techs were excited, and I was like, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. Like we're still dealing with the phase out. Like we're still dealing with the change. They were excited that 410A is coming back. I'm like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. You got more time to work on it or install it if there's inventory. I don't see these manufacturers putting money into that or back into that when they have all this investment in like 454B or whatever it is. Yeah, man. Had a lot of questions here, so I'm trying to get through them and probably going to get out of here myself in a minute. Just went out to a new customer for maintenance on a split system, furnace blower in attic. I was told the last tech didn't get in the attic because he had bad knees. So, yes. And so I'm glad that we have employees now because if I can't do something, one of them can. We have like one that is straight out of high school. And we were supposed to get another one, his friend, but unfortunately his parents are making him, well, I mean, unfortunately for us, his parents are making him go to college. They won't let him do both. They won't let him come earn some extra money. It sucks. But he's a bigger guy and he looks like a football player. I don't know. I don't think he is. But I was looking forward to having some extra hands. So yeah, now I let the younger guys do it. But I see that because we did a maintenance for a new customer too, like a few months back or a year ago, and now we're getting more work. But somebody was billing them for maintenance, and I went up there and it was micro channels, and they were black, like they were completely plugged up, and there was no water access. And this was a huge. It's almost like a mini mall. It was a huge area, right? I was not going to be able to run a hose up there. It was going to be more than 100 feet. So I was like, yeah, they were dirty. That was a call. We were there to check it, and they're like, man, we had maintenance guys out here. Like, why didn't they clean it? I was like, to be honest, they probably didn't have a way to get water up here, so they didn't want to deal with it. So I had to take a portable washer up there to clean them out my turbo tank. So yeah, I see that too. They just don't want to deal with it. But I've seen it where they charge something still and they get away with it. I've heard this one too. Took a class on 454B, and even the teacher said it was a scam. Oh man, I don't really have a heat pump. I don't really have a preference right now. Maybe I'll put an ACIQ like everybody else is doing on YouTube. You can we were still getting them. It's just whatever was in inventory. But like as part of the phase out, you weren't supposed to install them anymore, but I don't know. They I don't do it if they're already vacuumed, but yes, they should be in the vacuum. Typically when you get them new or change them out, they're in a vacuum. So I use it like that. I typically recover and reuse a refrigerant, but not all the time. So there's always something in there. So I haven't had to do that in a long time. But if I'm recovering to do a repair and I'm putting it back in because it's like something it has nothing to do with contamination or burnout or anything like that, I save the customer some money on refrigerant, right, by reusing it. If I do that and it's like take it out, put it back in, and the cylinder's empty, then yes, I'll vacuum it out. Somebody heard ACIQ? I don't know. I Again, maybe we can talk about it on HVAC nights. ACIQ is like a carrier brand. It's a is it Medea? Medea? There's several that are white labeled, but they're basically carrier. ACIQ is one of them. Oh yeah, Reamer Rude, maybe. It gets a little muddy because certain brands are good for certain like years, and then like some people don't like the newer stuff. I've heard good things about Rude, but then maybe like now I've seen people trying to get off of Rude. I don't know. Ream and Rude I think is pretty solid if I had to go with one. I forgot about that one. We have a Goodman, so anything's an upgrade. But as long as it's installed right, because this one it works fine. Like I'm not changing it out anytime soon. But like I said, maybe we can talk about this on Thursday. ACIQ. So it's a carrier white label. There is no benefit to me. There is no benefit to me because it is actually more expensive for me to get ACIQ here where I'm at. If you have a local distributor or you have somewhere you can get it, maybe it makes sense for you. But here it doesn't. They don't sell any parts. I've asked. When I asked for a quote, because they were actually going to work with me, so I should have been on their favorite list. When I tried to get a quote, they didn't have the right tonnage. So they were trying to sell me the next tonnage over, which I didn't want to go over. And then he said, I can also sell you a Daikin. I was like, dude, I can get a Daikin down the street. So he was trying to sell me a Daikin that would best match what I needed. But then the freight was like $1,000 or something. So I'm like, yeah, at that point, it's way too expensive. So I can't say anything about the product itself. I like Carrier. So if it is Carrier, I have nothing against it. Pricing does not make sense because uh, ICP or agree. Um, because like I can't sell it. It wouldn't be cheaper than me going to Carrier here or even going to Daikin, which The new Daikin stuff I have no issues with. So we put in quite a bit of those, quite a few of those, and they've been good. Gotta be gotta be a YouTuber to get it. I don't have, I can't remember right now. I don't think you can. There is a different between 454, 410, and R32. Yes, you can use 410 one way, but you can't use it the other way. I forgot which way it is. I'll look into it and get back to you guys, but um one way is allowable. I don't know if it's maybe it's 454 putting in 410A. I don't think you can do it with R32. Cuz I forgot what it was, but one way is allowable, one way is not. Train makes everything stupid. Appreciate you, Andrew. Uh Thanks for tuning in. Dude, now you're going to make me look it up. Before we get off, let me double check what I said. Because I just told Jake the pricing that I got. And this pricing was like a year ago. It was probably through here. Man, my internet's going slow. Let's see. No, it wasn't there. See you later, Andrew. I'm about to sign off. Now it's going to bother me. I can't find it. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Where is it? Oh, I actually shortchanged it. Mark. ACIQ package unit. I needed a 6 ton or a 6.5, and they were trying to sell me a 7.5 ton for $1,100, and then the economizer was an extra 1,000. Freight, $1,200. Or you can arrange your own pickup, is what they told me. Or we have Dakin, which also wasn't the right tonnage, and he said the freight would be the same. So $1,200 in freight. Maybe it's because I live in Texas. I have no idea. Oh, is it the oil? Is that what it was? Yeah, 454 is the one you can use 410. Do not do it with R32. But yeah, Mark, $1,200. So at that point, I was like, dude, I can go down the street and get what I need. No $1,200 surcharge. I wasn't getting any discounts and none of that stuff. So that was a quick no for me. And I have nothing against the product. If you can get it near you, or you can get it, like if you can get it at a reasonable price or cheaper than what, other brands are, great, or competitive with. I keep hearing that it's supposed to be cheaper than Carrier, but at least the stuff that I try to look up, it's the same price. And then that $1,200 freight. So, all right. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I appreciate everybody. Tech Tapes. I'll see you guys, and I'm going to hit the outro if I can find it. I think it's this one. See you guys.